The Marcus Deegan Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan, shooting from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. On a very windy freaking day here today, we're going to sit down for another Quick Clips podcast where I get to sit down and have a chat with some of the most elite athletes from some of the biggest organizations, combat sport organizations from around the world. Today is no exception to the rule. We're going to be talking to another one of them coming up real soon. Just real quickly, today's episode is sponsored by Untitled Sports plant-powered cryotherapy spray, perfect for recovery. If you sore anywhere, lower back especially, that's where I get it. Kick that stuff in, mate. It is the game changer. Titlesport.com. All right, so let's check this out. So last weekend at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 23, Isaac Dolittle defeated fellow top contender Jared Warren by majority decision in the co-main event in front of a capacity crowd at Intrust Bank Arena in Wichita, Kansas City, live on BKTV. With the victory, the Honey Badger is now on a 3-fight win streak in the squared circle, officially solidifying his status as the number one contender in the stacked BKFC lightweight heavyweight division. Honey Badgers are known for their strength, for their ferocity, and for their toughness, and they will take down and fight any other opponent bigger than them. What a great name. I love it. Hey, welcome to the podcast for Quick Clips, Isaac Dolittle. What's up, brother? Thanks very much for popping in, man. How you doing? You look fresh. You don't even look like you've been in a fight. What's going on? What's the secret?
Head movement and footwork. Gotta hand it to my coaches.
So, number one contender. How does it feel hearing that now?
Well, I'm not sure if that's beneficial or not because they just came out with the rankings yesterday, and I went from number 5 to number 4 on that. So
yeah. So, how are you feeling after the weekend? Have you sat down and got a chance to watch the fight over yet?
Oh yeah, I've had. There's been a bit of controversy over the fight, but we sat down, we watched it, we analyzed it, we went over what we did right, what we did wrong, so on and so forth.
Okay, can you elaborate on the controversy?
Well, the controversy was they're saying that he outboxed me, and that he should have won the fight. But if we want to count his jabs to my work inside the clinch, I landed more punches.
So, is this coming from the public or from his camp?
From his camp.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of things right, but as soon as we got into the clinch, it was all me.
So why do you think they get these things mixed up, these camps, when they can maybe, is that because, I don't know, like obviously they've got to be biased to their fighter, but how can you get something mixed up that was so clearly, your win?
I mean, there was a lot of times where, depending on the camera angle, it looked like he landed quite heavily. Like in the 5th round, he looked like he landed a clean 5-piece combo that would have won the round. But at a different camera angle, you could see that every single of those punches missed by about an inch.
Yeah. And now you mentioned camera angles. What's the production like at these events? Is it like Bellator UFC value production, or is it a little bit smaller? When you say camera angle, I'm assuming there's not as many cameras.
Oh, I mean, we got 3 cameras. From what I counted, there was 2 or 3 cameras around the ring, and then there was one floating around, and then there was another 1 or 2 cameras. So it's actually a big production, but they can only be on one camera for the film at the time.
Yep, that's right. So, going into the fight, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Coming out of the fight, was he what you expected? Wasn't what you expected? Better, worse? Didn't hit that hard? Like, what was coming out of it? What did you think afterwards?
He was just as hard as we expected, but in a different manner. I was expecting him to hit a lot harder, but because of the head movement, he wasn't able to get a good, clean shot. I was always either out of the way or taking the power off. So he didn't have that power that we were expecting, but he had footwork and mobility. He was really able to stay at distance. Sometimes he had to run to do so, but he was really good at staying out of my range.
So is that more beneficial to you as a fighter? He doesn't hit as hard, but he's really good on his feet. What's the better evil for you?
I'd honestly rather him hit as hard because it'd be so much easier for me to hit him if I didn't have to take 10 steps to get to him.
Right. And I suppose that would have an effect on your cardio as well, doing all that extra movement to try and get a hold of him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the motivation going into this fight? Was for you? Was it like? Is it a build up to get a title shot? Is it something that you knew as a stepping stone, or like what was the motivation behind this particular fight?
I mean, the motivation behind this fight was I've got a lot of people behind me. I got my coach, I've got my manager that put a lot of time and effort and work into me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to do well.
Yeah.
I've got to put what they taught me into practice.
Yeah. It's got to be heavy carrying that burden of having you kind of you got to take care of everybody now. You know what I mean? They've done their job. Now it's time for you to do yours. It's got to be a big burden, right?
It is a big burden, but they also had a big burden bringing me up from just, well, an average class grappler. I've only been boxing for a few years. So,
Right. Yeah. So just quickly, man, like maybe some people haven't heard of you. Primarily, we speak to a lot of athletes from the mixed martial arts world, but I have spoken to, and I plan on speaking to a lot more of the athletes from your organization. I spoke to Christine Ferreira and Jake Lindsay and Artem Lobov, just a few people. Um, uh, tell people briefly what your combat sports career has been, because you said you've only been boxing for a few years, so you're pretty fresh, right?
yeah, in fact, I think before my first bare knuckle fight, we'd only been boxing for about maybe a year and a quarter,
Yep.
not that much. So we've been in it maybe 3.5 years. So not long at all. For about a decade before that, I did MMA. I grappled. I was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. They literally stuck gloves on us for a fight and was just like, go Brazilian jiu-jitsu the dude.
So why the turnover? Why bare knuckle boxing?
Honestly, I wanted to try it. I saw all those guys with fancy handlebar mustaches and old Victorian paintings. Why not go try it? It was supposed to be a one and done, and then I started winning. And well, look, this is actually really fun. Let's see how far we can take it.
And now, how is it on the hands? Like a lot of the fighters that I talk to say that the thing that hurts the most is their hands. How are your hands?
This is the first fight that I've actually done anything to my hand. I can now fully close my right hand. It's but 2 days ago I couldn't move it at all.
Yeah, yeah. So moving forward, what's your Lorenzo Hunt in your sights?
It's going to be a fight this April 30th for between Lorenzo Hunt and Diesel Riggs, and
Yeah.
it's we're going to see which one it is.
What's your opinion
Kind of
on who it's
excited.
going to be, and who would you, or put it this way, who would you really like it to be?
Eh, I really have either way. It's going to be a good matchup because
Yeah,
Lorenzo Hunt's a little bit longer. He's got a lot of power. Diesel has a lot of power in mid range, and
yeah,
so I. It's going to be either another fight like I did with Warren, where it's all about distance, and that'll be with Lorenzo, or it's going to be just a brawl in the mid range with Riggs.
yeah. Well, it's funny because it's such a new sport, and a lot of people still don't know about it. It's funny. I said to a guy the other day that I was talking to you guys, and he's like, "What? They have a bare knuckle?" And I was like, "Yeah, they have bare knuckle boxing. They have bare knuckle MMA now. It's the new thing, but it's slowly growing, and everybody loves it." Do you get a lot of great feedback from your fans and from people in the organization? Is this sport moving forward really quickly?
Oh, it really is. I personally don't get a lot of good feedback because, like I said, I'm a grappler. So my whole thing with my short arms is I'm in the clinch, and if you don't have the right angle, you don't realize how much punishment's being done.
Yeah.
I mean, did a ton of damage in the clinch. My first fight, I rearranged his jaw, and they thought there was a problem with his throat. Uh, my sec
Wow.
my second fight, I fractured his orbital socket, broke his nose, jaw, like everything on his face in the clinch. And then the third one, we thought that I cracked his sternum and broke a few things on his face. And then we have Warren, who at the end of our close knit second round didn't know where he was for about a round.
Wow, it's just those big, heavy, hard-hitting mitts, mate. So you're perfect for this game. And you know what the beauty of it is as I heard that you just wanted to do it just for fun, just to try it. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
I love that, man. I love that so much because it just shows that, how nonchalant you were about it. You get nervous going in there.
Oh yeah, everybody gets nervous. We're going in there to do great bodily harm to another person. But
Yeah,
once the first punch is thrown, this ain't so bad. Let's have some
yeah.
fun.
Now, what about your girl and what about your friends that are in the sport? Do you like to watch them
I like watching my friends. I do not like watching my girl fight.
at all? You cannot watch it at all.
I'll occasionally look up and
A
okay,
replay.
she's doing good. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And is she the same with you?
More or less, she's a little bit braver than I am.
It's just so funny. So that's a really interesting that you can't watch it, being that you're such a badass. So other businesses. I heard that you got a couple of other businesses, and just real quickly, I won't keep you too long. Are you a businessman first and then a fighter, or are you a fighter that likes to do business?
I'd probably have to say I'm a fighter that likes to do business. I'm terrible at marketing. I'm terrible at media. As you can see, my social media presence is absolutely expansive, all sarcasm included. Um, I make soaps and I do beard stuff and I did biochemistry in college. So I'm like the Heisenberg. I sit back and I make it. Nobody needs to know about it. I'll hire somebody to do all my PR and my HR.
Yeah. And so you say you got beard. You have a beard product because I'm looking like the Australian one of Jesus's apostles, the Australian one.
There you
Um,
go.
so yeah, man. So what kind of beard product are you doing? Can we give it a plug?
Oh yeah, Van Andy Beard Co. We do beard oils, beard balms, beard butter, and then we do Jekyll and Hyde Soap Co. So beard soaps and so on and so forth.
And where can people find that?
Just online, I can shoot you the links on them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's vanandybeardco.com and jhsoapco.com.
Yeah, man, just whack those over to me straight away, and we'll put it in the link. And so, how did you figure that? Is that something that is well, obviously because you got a beard, and then I'm sure that you have sponsorship from beard companies. Is that how it all started?
Actually, it started while I was in college, and I went through a nasty divorce, and afterwards she wouldn't let me grow facial hair while we were together, and I always wanted that Viking braided double beard, or
Yeah,
and I was looking online, and I tried a couple beard companies. They were terrible. I'm in biochemistry, so I know how to mix stuff. I'm looking at
yeah,
the ingredients. It looks terrible. I can do this for much cheaper, much easier. And I called my best friend up and I was like, you need to talk me out of this. What? I think I can do a beard company and I can do it better. And she goes, perfect. I'll do the shipping and logistics.
and
That's
that's
a
what you want.
that's a terrible friend. Entire job was to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
And she made it happen.
And how's it going?
I mean, it's been kind of put on hold with this fight, but we do pretty well.
Yeah, and the soaps, is that another brainstorm of yours as well?
Well, yeah, it started with Dr. Squatch. We all saw that, and
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah. Why not? And that's going well as well.
Yeah, we
Nice.
got we do subscription boxes and so on and so forth. They do quite well.
That's awesome, man. So as far as just kicking back, now how long is it going to be before you want to get back in there physically? You seem okay. Is there not too much damage?
It'll probably be another couple weeks before my hand heals up, and then we'll
Yep.
we'll be right back to training. We got a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that we need to fix, a lot of stuff we need to tighten up before we go for the championship. But it'll probably be about 6 months before they put us together. That's
Yep.
all on BKFC's time.
Right. Right. And then what are you just going to be? Are you going to indulge in the time off? Like you're going to eat whatever you want and become a fat boy, or are you going to still stay in shape?
I always eat whatever I want. I just go to the gym 2, 3 times in order to counteract it.
Yeah, yeah. So what about fun, man? What do you do? What do you do for fun? You ride motorbikes? Or do you what's your deal?
I'm a bit too cheap to ride motorbikes, but that would be fun.
Yeah,
No, I do carpentry. I work on my businesses. I do construction.
yeah.
I write. I do pretty much anything you can think of.
See, you're an all-rounder. It's called keeping the options open and trying everything. I like to get everybody that we have on for a chat, maybe to give an inspirational quote, sentence, word before the end of every show. Is there something that you could say to someone out there that might need a little bit of a lift today?
I'm living proof that even idiots can do something. You just have to keep doing it over and over again.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please say thank you to Isaac Dolittle? Thank you very much, Isaac.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to you soon, man.
Bye.
All right, bye. Such a great guy. Thank you very much for if you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you go and check us out on the YouTube channel as well. It's always good talking to these guests. That's 2 in a row. One yesterday, one today. And yeah, Snuffy, did you want to come up and say hello to everybody on TV? Come up here and say hello before we go. No, you don't want to do it? All right. Hey, listen, guys, thanks very much. Once again, you guys rock. If you're listening or if you're watching, thank you so much. Share it. Let everybody know what's going on when it comes to the Marcus Deegan Show. It's a fun podcast. We get to talk to everybody, and we got some really interesting things coming up, so stick around. Thanks very much for listening. This is Marcus for the Marcus Deegan Show. Take care. The Marcus Deegan Show.